Warriors Nation, what a wild night of preseason basketball. Just when it looked like the game was lost, the Dubs pulled off an improbable comeback that nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming. Let's talk about it, because this one wasn't about Steph draining threes or Draymond locking up the paint. This was about the guys at the end of the bench, the ones fighting for a spot, showing they got heart, grit, and maybe a little something extra this coaching staff needs to pay more attention to. The game against the Blazers was looking like a disaster in the making. Down by more than 20 points, yes, 21 at one point, and the body language on the floor looked flat. It felt like one of those nights where you're just hoping to get through it without any injuries and move on. Even for fans watching at home, it was hard not to tune out. Honestly, it felt like a wasted night. But then something shifted. The stars came off the floor. Steph took a seat. Draymond sat down. Jimmy was out. Even Al Horford was pulled. And that's when the story changed. Enter the bench squad. The guys with everything to prove and nothing to lose. Pat Spencer, Quinn Post, and a bit of Moses Moody and Podziemski stepped in. And all of a sudden, it didn't feel like preseason anymore. These guys came out with fire. They moved the ball, hustled for every rebound, cut to the basket with purpose, and defended like it mattered. It wasn't pretty at first, but the tide slowly started to turn. What stood out most was the chemistry. You don't expect second and third unit guys, many of them still new to the system, to play with this kind of cohesion. But there was something real there. Moody had moments where he looked like a reliable piece ready to contribute right away. Pods flashed his usual high IQ and energy. And Quinn Post? Man, this dude showed out. He didn't just score. He played with confidence, with rhythm, with presence. Post ended the night with 20 points on the back of 7 for 14 shooting from the field and 4 for 9 from deep. That's not just solid for a big man. That's exactly the kind of production the Warriors have been missing from the bench. A stretch big who can space the floor, hit the three with confidence, and not be afraid to take a shot. This is the blueprint for what the Warriors have been looking for when they talk about modernizing the roster around Steph and Draymond. But look, it wasn't all perfect. As impressive as Post was on offense, there's a glaring issue when you check the box score. He grabbed only 4 rebounds in 25 minutes. That's not enough, especially when you're trying to earn minutes in the regular season. When wings like Denny Avdija are pulling down 8 boards, and even guards are crashing the glass harder, that's a problem. Post has the frame, the skill, the shooting, but he needs to become more physical under the rim. No more watching shots bounce off and hoping someone else grabs them. He has to go and get them. Rebounding isn't optional, not with the kind of competition he's going to face. Think about it. In the playoffs, Post is going to be battling guys like Rudy Gobert, Anthony Davis, maybe even Jokic. Those are not the matchups where you can look timid or slow. And it's not even just about size or strength. It's about mindset. The NBA doesn't wait around for you to get comfortable. You either rise to the level or get left behind. Post needs to make rebounding part of his identity, not just a stat that happens by accident. And that starts now. Still, there's no denying he brought something that the Warriors needed. Floor spacing, shot confidence, and offensive awareness that you can't teach overnight. His ability to stretch defenses and open up driving lanes for guys like Jimmy or even Draymond in that point forward role makes him valuable. It's early, but there's potential there, the kind that could become vital when the games actually count. And speaking of confidence, we got to talk about Pods for a second, because this dude was in the headlines recently for a pretty bold statement. He basically said that once Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy retire, he wants the torch passed him. And while you love the ambition, that kind of talk comes with weight. You say something like that, you better back it up with performances that scream future star. But in this game, not quite. Pods didn't have a bad night, but he didn't look like that guy either. He finished the night with modest numbers. Not the kind of box score that justifies the give me the keys to the franchise type of energy. And again, yeah, it's preseason, but that's the time when guys like him need to show they're ahead of the curve. When you're gunning for that torch, you can't have average nights. You need to shine against the second units of teams like the Blazers, who, let's be honest, are not exactly contending this year. This was a game that needed a statement, and Pods didn't make one. Same goes for Jonathan Kuminga. 18 minutes, just 3 points. 5 rebounds and a couple of assists, sure, But if this is the season where he's supposed to break out, we didn't see it here. This is the same conversation we've been having with JK for over a year now. The physical tools are there. The flashes are there. But the consistency? That next step? Still missing. And if he wants to secure that extension, secure that role, and be part of this franchise long-term, these are the nights where he has to dominate, especially against teams that aren't at full strength. Because let's not forget, when you're in the Warriors system, every preseason game, every minute on the court is an audition. The front office is watching. Steve Kerr is watching. And with the cap situation coming up in the next couple of years, the team needs to know who's really worth investing in. There's no room for coasting, not even in October. You want to be part of the post-Steph era? You have to prove it. Every night. Now, zooming out, what we're seeing from this team, even in preseason, is that the momentum from last season's big trade is still alive. That energy we felt when Jimmy first joined the roster, it's still there. And now it's not just in the starting lineup. It's trickling down to the bench. That's massive, because it shows culture. It shows buy-in. When your second and third units are clawing back from 21 down in a preseason game, that means something. It tells you that the competitive fire is real and that the guys fighting for spots are doing more than just filling minutes. They're making plays, they're playing hard, and they're trying to earn trust. You always hear the phrase, next man up in the NBA, but it means nothing unless that next man actually steps up. And last night, that's what happened. Post stepped up. Spencer stepped up. Moody showed flashes. Pods, while not perfect, showed effort. And that's how you build something sustainable. You need your bench to bring energy, not just keep leads, but sometimes steal wins when the starters are out or off their game. That comeback against Portland, it was a spark, a reminder that this team might be deeper than people think. And sure, it's preseason. Nobody's planning a parade in October. But comebacks like this, they're more than just a feel-good story. They're building blocks. They build chemistry. They build confidence. And they send a message, not just to the fans, but to the league. The Warriors may not be the youngest team in the NBA, but that doesn't mean the cupboard is empty. There's talent waiting in the wings. And if they can keep bringing that fire, this team's future might be in better hands than people give them credit for. What makes this preseason win so meaningful isn't just the scoreboard. It's what it revealed about the identity of this Warriors team going forward. There's a shift happening, whether we like it or not. The days of relying on the big three to carry every single night are fading. Steph is still Steph, and he's going to go down as one of the greatest to ever do it, but no player beats Father Time. Draymond's value is immense, especially defensively and as a leader, but his body can't handle the same grind it once could. And Jimmy, while still fresh compared to the others, can't be expected to flip every game on its head without a strong supporting cast around him. That's why these preseason games are more than just tune-ups. They're evaluations of who's ready to take ownership of this next chapter. And honestly, a few guys made their case, but not without question marks. Quentin Post is the name on everyone's lips after that performance, and it's not hard to see why. When you look at what the Warriors have needed for years, a true stretch five who doesn't clog the lane but still provides presence, Post fits the mold. His shooting stroke is smooth, he moves well for his size, and he doesn't hesitate when the ball swings his way. But here's the thing. Being a modern big in this league is about more than just hitting open threes. You gotta be tough. You gotta bang inside, contest shots, alter drives, and own the boards. Post showed flashes of that, but flashes aren't enough. If he wants real minutes once the season starts, he needs to make that physicality part of his identity. Because once teams see that he can shoot, they'll start closing out hard, they'll test him off the dribble, and they'll crash the boards every time he's on the floor. This league doesn't give second chances to soft bigs. You either adapt or you get exposed. That's the challenge ahead for Quentin. The potential is there. The tools are in place. But now it's about proving you can be relied on night after night. Not just in flashes during the preseason, but across real games against real rotations. If he can give the Warriors consistent bench production, something like 15 points and 7 rebounds, or even just play solid minutes where he doesn't hurt you on either end, he becomes a piece worth keeping around. And with Al Horford not getting any younger, the team needs to know who can step in when needed. Post doesn't have to be a star. He just has to be dependable. And right now, that's the most valuable thing you can be on a contending roster. Now, shifting back to Podziemski, look, you've got to admire the confidence. Wanted to be the guy that takes over the torch from legends like Steph and Draymond? That's bold. That's the kind of mindset you want in a young player. But here's the reality check. Talking about being the future doesn't make you the future. You become that guy by earning it. And in this league, talk doesn't get you very far without production backing it up. Pods has the potential. You see it in the way he reads the floor, in his court vision, in the occasional flashy pass or gutsy drive. But flashes won't cut it. When you declare that you're ready for the torch, you put a target on your back. Every fan, every coach, and every front office exec is watching you closer. And against Portland, he didn't meet the moment. He didn't play like someone ready to inherit the franchise. This isn't about being harsh. It's about standards. Steph Curry changed the game. Draymond Green redefined the power forward position with his defense and passing. Jimmy Butler brings leadership and playoff grit. If you want to follow that act, you better bring something special, something consistent. Pod still has a long road to walk. That doesn't mean he can't get there, but it means nights like that can't be the norm. And if they are, then that torch talk becomes noise instead of vision. The Warriors are a franchise that rewards work. If Pods wants to lead this team in the future, he has to earn that trust, not just in preseason games, but in every practice, every possession, every minute on the floor. And then there's Kuminga, maybe the most frustrating talent on the roster right now. The tools are ridiculous. Size, athleticism, flashes of scoring ability, defensive upside, it's all there. But somehow, it hasn't come together in the way it should have by now. 18 minutes and just 3 points in a game where others were stepping up? That's not the kind of performance you want to see from someone who's supposed to be knocking on the door of a breakout season. It's not enough to just be present. You have to impose yourself on the game. There were moments where he looked disengaged. Not lost, necessarily, but not fully locked in either. And that's the issue. The Warriors are at a point where they don't have time to wait for someone to figure out over 5 seasons. Kuminga has had opportunities. He's had the minutes, the system, and the veteran guidance. If it doesn't start clicking now, when will it? There's still hope, and games like these can serve as wake-up calls. But Kuminga needs to understand the window isn't open forever. This is a team with title hopes, a team looking to maximize what's left of the Steph era. If he wants to be part of that now and beyond, he has to show it. Otherwise, he's going to end up being another talented player who just never put it all together. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. There's a quiet murmur echoing through the Bay Area, and it's growing louder by the day. Steve Kerr, the ever-composed architect of the Golden State Warriors dynasty, has reportedly said his goodbyes to young forward Tracy Jackson-Davis, wishing him happiness and success in Houston. The words, while measured and professional, have sparked a wave of speculation among fans and insiders alike. Is Tracy officially on his way to the Houston Rockets? Nothing has been confirmed yet, but the tone around Chase Center suggests more than a casual farewell. Kerr, known for his ability to balance honesty with diplomacy, rarely speaks in past tense unless a move is truly imminent. He's a great kid, worked hard, learned quickly. He'll do well wherever he goes, Kerr was overheard saying after practice, according to those close to the team. The phrasing, wherever he goes, has only added fuel to the fire. Jackson-Davis, who showed flashes of potential throughout last season, was viewed internally as one of the Warriors' key development pieces for the future. His athleticism, defensive instincts, and ability to finish around the rim gave Golden State fans hope that he could become a modern big in Kerr's motion-heavy system. But with the Warriors in the midst of reshaping their roster around aging stars and a shrinking championship window, the front office appears ready to make tough decisions, and Tracy might be the latest casualty of that recalibration. Meanwhile, in Houston, whispers from league sources say the Rockets have been eyeing Jackson-Davis for weeks. Their front office sees him as a high-energy, rim-running presence who could complement their young core and bolster their bench rotation. Head coach Ime Udoka reportedly admires his defensive versatility and rebounding instincts. qualities Houston has been craving as it tries to turn potential into playoff relevance. Still, for Warriors fans, this one stings. Losing a promising young player, just as he's finding his rhythm, always does. But if KERR's subdued goodbye is any indication, the writing may already be on the wall. Whether the deal is finalized or still brewing behind closed doors, one thing is clear. Tracy Jackson Davis's chapter in Golden State seems to be closing, and a new one may soon begin deep in the heart of Texas. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.